So first, let's start out with some things about Shakespeare itself. I'm assuming that we are struggling with understanding what's happening with Shakespeare and overall as what's going on in the story and everything like that. Am I correct? I can't see anybody. So
well, the thing with me, I'm just behind and I haven't had time to get to the checkpoint, so I don't really know if I understand or not. I started today I set myself to do like most of English or all of English if I can.
Okay.
So hopefully I get to do it all today.
Okay. Okay. So hopefully maybe this will help you then a little bit. So a little bit of information about Shakespeare to help you guys get started and help you guys maybe catch up a little bit is there are some elements of plot in a Shakespearean tragedy. So Othello that you're reading in your class right now is considered a tragedy in Shakespeare. So Shakespeare wrote 3 different types of genres, and in his time period, there were only 3 different genres. There was comedy, there was tragedy, and there was history. And this is considered a tragedy. Okay, Othello is considered a tragedy. All right, so there are 6 different elements within a Shakespearean tragedy, and I'm going to. Where did I put that? It's in your, if it's in your summit information. I'm going to, oh, there's Susan. So I'm going to share this screen with you so that you can see. Can you all see the plot elements right here?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, good deal. So we have, these are the elements within a Shakespearean tragedy that make up the story, okay? So every Shakespearean tragedy has these elements that are within in 5 acts, okay? So every one of his plays has 5 acts. Every one of his tragedy stories has 5 acts, okay? And so it starts out with the introduction or an exposition, okay? So in the beginning of a story, it gives the background information on the characters, okay? It tells us what's happening, why everyone's the way they are, what's going on, kind of the history of the characters themselves, okay? The second thing that happens is the trigger incident or the initial exciting force. So this is a scene or event that starts the action and triggers the later conflict, all right? So a lot of times this can happen right at the beginning. Like this happens like right within the first couple events of Shakespeare's play, all right? The rising action, the beginning of the action that will lead to a high point in the story, okay? So as you can see, this right here, it tells you kind of where this is going. You got the first 2 things that happen pretty early in the play, and then as we go on through the play, we'll see things begin to climax and begin to go up. Okay, climax. You all have heard this before, I'm sure. Yes, has everyone heard the word climax before in regards to stories? Okay. All right. The turning point in the story. This is the part of the story in which the protagonist reaches an emotional high point or peak in power. Okay, so the climax is like the big shebang. It's the big battle. It's the big, you know, everything comes to a head and we figure out like what's going to happen and all that kind of stuff. The following action is the story. It's the action that occurs after the climax before everything is wrapped up in the story. So the story begins to come to an end and things begin to wrap up and begin to fall, kind of, we figure out how things are coming to a close and everything else. And then the catastrophe. When the events of the following action bring the protagonist to his fate. So this is the very last thing that we see. This is what happens. And this is the closing of the play, okay? So this is how a Shakespearean tragedy works, all right? Every single thing that you will ever read in a Shakespearean tragedy from now until the time you graduate high school, this is exactly how you will find a Shakespearean tragedy to go, okay? It will always go in this order. It will be like this, okay? In Act 1, this is how it'll be: exposition, exciting force, rising action. So this is how things are going to fly whenever you read. And then Act 2 will be rising action. Act 3, rising action, climax, falling action. Act 4, falling action. Act 5, falling action, and catastrophe. Okay? So you kind of see how that goes throughout the play. So you'll kind of see what you can look for as you go. All right? And so hopefully this will kind of help you go through as you read. You can go through and everything else. All right? Now, that's easy to understand, right? We understand how the story works and how things kind of go through. We are familiar with how plot works in a story, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So this is not the confusing part, am I right? This is not the hard part?
No.
Everybody else? Ashley, Emily, Susan?
No.
No.
Okay, so this is the part we all understand. All right. So it's when we get to stuff that looks like this, right? These kind of words. What it gets hard to understand, right? This kind of looks like not English, but it really is English. Okay. So we just have to learn how to translate it. We have to learn how to understand it. But there are tools out there that we can use that will help us. Okay. So it is important that you do understand how to use those tools. All right. All right. So we're going to go over some things and how you can look at those. All right. Okay. So you know the elements on how to read, how to look at a Shakespearean play. All right. So what I want to do first is I want to give you a little bit of background on Othello and what happens in the play. So one of the things that will help you understand how to read Shakespeare is a lot of times you can find videos and things like that that will help you understand and that will kind of give you a summary of what's going to happen in the act itself before you read it. So that way you understand it a little bit better. And so I want to show you this video. It's very quick. It's really short, and it's just about it's about Act 1, Scene 1. Okay, that you all technically should have read by now, but this just kind of gives you a background of what happens and why, and what happens in that particular scene, so that you can kind of understand it a little bit better as you read it. Okay, does that make sense? I'm going to try to get this to go full screen. There we go. If you can't hear this, let me know.
I can't hear.
You can't hear it?
No.
Can anyone else hear it? I just paused it, but can anyone else hear it?
Not really.
No, I can't
I
hear.
can't hear it.
Is it just because it's low, or is it just because you can't? Are you really you can't hear it at all?
In the beginning, I could a little bit, but not right now.
I hear like whispers, like I don't know.
Kind of choppy.
All right, let me see. Hang on a second. All right, let's try this again. Have the closed caption on too.
I still can't hear it.
Okay, you may not be able to hear it, but can you see the closed captioning at the bottom?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, that's what I'm gonna have to do because that's all I've got right now. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Whoa. Stop. Ah. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to figure out the speaker issue because I don't understand why you can't hear that. But anyway, you guys can hear me though just fine, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, but you were able to read that, okay, and everything?
Yeah.
No?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I heard somebody say no.
Oh no, I said yes.
Okay. So you kind of got an idea of what's happening in within the opening acts of the scene one. Okay, so you kind of know, you kind of have an idea of what to expect and everything. So we know that Othello and Desdemona, sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once here. Othello and Desdemona are going off to elope. Okay, they are eloping. All right, and sorry, I shouldn't leave me on. Desdemona and Othello are eloping, and they are, and Rodrigo is in love with Desdemona, and it's irritating Rodrigo that this is happening. I'm trying to get my speakers set up to see if I can make sure that you guys have more sound coming through. So so what do you think is the overall tone of Act 1, Scene 1, based on just what you heard in that video or what you read in that video? Remember tone. What is tone? the first thing that we're doing in the checkpoint. Okay, let's go back. I'm getting sidetracked here. In checkpoint 5, when we first start reading Othello, this is really hard when I don't see anyone's face because I can't tell if y'all are understanding or not. In checkpoint 5, when we're doing Act 1, Scene 1, we're doing a tone analysis of Othello. So what do you think, based on just what you saw in that video, what do you think the tone of that particular scene is going to be? Here, I'll give you, and I gave you a list of tone words on Summit, but let me see, I'll give you some more. I'll give you a list of tone words. I'll show them to you on the screen. Let's see. Oh, it's upside down. I miss my old document camera. One I actually knew how to use. Sideways. And hopefully you can see all those. I had to kind of make it zoom out a little bit. Are y'all still with me? No one's talking. All right, there's some tone words for you. So what do you think? Did y'all hear that ding?
Yes.
Okay, good. That means the speakers are working. It means I can actually show you the movie and you can hear it. Okay. So, is everybody still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So what tone words are we hearing?
I'm thinking maybe more negative tone words rather than positive. I'm not sure.
Okay. So why do you think negative? So we've got Rodrigo, who is upset because Othello is marrying Desdemona, who he loves. Iago is playing both sides. He's trying to be friends with Iago and Othello. And everything. So why would you think that? So what negative tone words do you think that would fall under that?
Maybe aggravated or agitated.
Okay. Okay. All right. Those are good. Those are good. All right. So, keep those in mind. I want you to keep those in mind here in a minute when we watch the scenes, okay? So, and then we're going to go over these, but I want to watch 2 scenes together. So we're going to go over this here in a minute. So keep those in mind as we go through. All right. So if someone was stabbing you in the back, playing both sides, trying to marry a girl that someone else loved, yes, you're going to think that the tone is going to be negative, that it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be people stabbing each other in the back, things like that. It's probably not going to be a very good tone that we're going to be involved in or be around. So yeah, you guys are definitely on the right track in regards to that. So very good, very good. Okay, so now you guys are understanding this better than you think. All right, so let me stop doing that. Okay. Sorry, yes, I didn't see your chat, but yes, agitated, yes, very good. So yes, good, good, good. You guys are doing good. You guys are understanding this. I was like really worried that you guys were going to struggle with this. Okay, so the other thing that we need to worry about too is character traits, okay? So the other thing, we're also going to look at scene 2, okay? Because they all kind of go together. And you'll see what I mean when we watch the movie. And of course, as you realize, though, movies are not plays and they're not word for word, okay? So when we watch the movie, it's going to be a little different than what you see on here. It's not going to go word for word what's on here, what you see when you read, okay? So just keep that in mind. And by the way, the bell might ring in a little bit and I'll probably have people in this room, and that's okay because it's no big deal. They're putting people in this room because they don't have anywhere else to go right now for study hall, so that's where they're going to go. So in a few minutes we may have people in here, but no big deal. They're not going to hear anything that we do because I'm going to put my headphones on and they won't hear you talk to me. So, anywho, so we're going to do, let's look at character traits for some of these. So if you go to, are you all on Summit right now? Or are you just listening to what we're going through?
I'm listening, but I
You're
can be on
listening?
something.
Well, you don't
Yeah,
need, I mean, you don't have to be, but I'm just letting you know that on checkpoint 6 is where the character analysis is for scene 2. So, and if we go to that same place that I was at, let's see if this, can you hear that now?
No.
You guys still can't hear that video?
No.
This is worrying me. But you can hear that ding.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, this is really, it's really worrying me a lot. All right, let's see. Can you hear it?
In Act 1, Scene 2 of Othello, Iago demonstrates his loyalty by warning Othello that an angry Bravante
Yes. Better than yes. Now I can't.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that one you can actually hear better, yes?
A bit better.
A bit better? Okay.
It wasn't. I could. Yeah. A bit better.
Okay. So hopefully we can hear the movie better. So, all right. Okay. So now you kind of have an idea of what has happened with Iago and Othello and Brabantio and things like that as they go through. So it kind of gives you an idea of the character traits that we're seeing develop through this scene, okay? And we're seeing that, remember the plot chart that we have, okay? So we're seeing that exciting force and that rising action starting to develop, okay? So that we're seeing the scenes and events that start to start that later conflict and things like that. Okay. So if we have Iago, if we're thinking about Iago, what are the character traits? So we've got character traits. Let me put that on the screen here. I'm just trying to prepare you for what you're going to be doing, and when we get to the analysis piece of it. I know I'm going through this pretty quick, but I want to get to the movie part of it so you guys can actually watch it, and then we can go through the through some of the analysis pieces of it. Let's see. Okay, so you can see the character traits list. So where do you think Iago might fit into this? Where, as he's going through this and he's starting to kind of play puppet master type of thing, what do you think that he's starting to fall into this as his character develops in this? Remember, he said that Iago is the one who he is starting to really kind of pull the strings and really getting people where he wants them and starting to make people think a certain way and everything. So what do we think that Iago is starting to do here? He's playing both sides. So what is he starting to do here? What kind of person does he seem to be? Does he appear to be to people?
Maybe manipulative.
What is it?
Manipulative.
Manipulative, okay. All right. What else?
Maybe mischievous.
Mischievous, okay. All right, that's a good one. That's a good one. What else do you think?
Maybe leader or self-confident.
Okay, okay. He's definitely self-confident if he's able to pull, if he thinks he can pull all this off, right? And he's, okay, he thinks he's a leader because he's doing all this, right? Okay, so he could be several different things. I mean, just because you're doing bad things doesn't mean you're not self-confident or not a leader. Okay, you can still be a leader and do bad things. All right. So, so yeah, definitely, those could definitely be things that you could use. Yeah. So, okay, yeah, you guys are definitely on the right track. Good, good. All right, good deal. All right. So, so that kind of gives you an idea of what you need to look for and questions you need to ask yourself as you're going through and reading this. Okay. Now, the other thing I do want to show you is as a resource for you. And no, I don't have this linked in. I don't have this linked in Summit. Okay. I do not have this linked in Summit. But I do want you all to have access and have it available to you if you need it. So one, you can use this Course Hero information on YouTube, and you can actually do like Othello by William Shakespeare. It divides it up into acts. Act 1, Scene 3 is the next one. It'll give you a summary of what's happening, a quick little summary that are usually pretty short, just like we've been watching. You can also, if you will just type in No Fear Shakespeare, it'll actually give you a translation for you and kind of tell you what's happening, okay? It'll explain it to you a little bit better so that maybe if you're struggling to read Shakespeare's language, that you could read it in a modern day language, okay? Now, granted, Shakespeare's language is English, It is English, okay? It's just a different form of English, okay? So it's just an English that we don't use very much anymore. So it takes some time to get used to reading the way that he wrote. So if you struggle with understanding how he wrote, I would very much encourage you to read, to go and look up the no fear versions of this online. Okay, you have access to this through your Chromebooks. All right, there is no, I'm not going to get mad at you or tell you that you're wrong if you go and do this. You would use your resources. Okay, this is available to you. I think actually the version that I gave you on your classroom has the no fear version on it. This to me, if I was looking at it, actually looks better to me. For some reason or another, I prefer this because I can actually look at it side by side, just right next to each other. Okay, but I would definitely use this if you need it. Okay. Any questions on anything? Anything?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay. You guys just want to watch the movie? It's actually a really good movie. It's actually a really good movie.
How long is it?
How long is it? It's long. It is a longer movie. But I'm not going to show you the whole movie right now. I'm just going to show you like the first 10 minutes, which is like the first 2 scenes of the play. Okay. And I'm not going to say that we're not going to watch another part of the movie at another time if I feel like you guys want to or need to do that. Okay. But right now, that's all I'm going to show you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I figure we'll go through the first 2 scenes, then we can work on maybe a little bit of this stuff together, like your checkpoints together. Not all of it, but we'll work on a couple of it together, okay? To kind of get you started so that you can feel good about it. And then that way, you can feel a little bit more confident about getting your checkpoints done and everything. Then if you still, and then maybe if you guys are still struggling, you email me and tell me, hey, Ms. Cox, you know, I think we need to have another one of those class sessions and things like that where we, you know, we can watch it, we can go over it again, we can talk through it. Discussions about Shakespeare are a lot easier than having you all do it on your own, I'll be honest with you. And when I say discussions, it means like me not just be the only one talking. I mean, yes, a couple of you are talking and stuff, but it does do better if we all can like talk together and discuss it and go through it and everything, because Shakespeare is hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's hard. But if we talk it out and go through it together, it does help. So I just hope that this movie will play and you guys can hear it. So, but I'm going to pause the recording now for those who are not here, because I cannot show this video via video because it would be illegal. So I'm pausing it right now. So at least we got that one. So let's go through and let's try to do Act 1, Scene 1 together. All right. I'm not going to do all this by myself. So everyone can unpause themselves or unmute themselves. And I'm going to pull up my cam.
Is this checkpoint 6? Or what checkpoint?
I believe it is checkpoint 5. We're going to do checkpoint 5 together, or at least some of it. Yes, checkpoint 5.
Okay.
I'm sorry the movie didn't work, guys. I'm really upset about this, actually. I'm going to try to figure out why it does not work. All right. Can you all see my dot cam?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, I just
Yes.
had an idea. You can see my dot cam. I might be able to play the movie on my screen and you guys can see the dot cam. You want to try?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, yes, we do. Yes, we do. We don't want to do this right now.
Okay, so now we have, I'm trying to get everything on the same screen so I can see everything. So we have Cassio was offered the job. Okay, he was offered the position. Okay, Iago is pretty ticked about that because the fact is that he felt like Cassio really wasn't qualified because Cassio was just a math guy. Okay, he was only good with numbers. Okay, he didn't have anything to do with, you know, fighting or war or anything like that. He was just, what does he know about fighting? You know, he was just a numbers guy. Okay, so, all right, so what do you think, what does it say he thinks about Othello? Or what do you think he thinks about Othello based on what it says here? Remember, do you guys have your, do you have the text that I shared with you on Summit? Because I want you to use that too. The text on Summit has both the no fear and the, it has both. To kind of help you out, help you with translating Shakespeare's words. Who, okay. So, okay, so we're talking about him and I hate. So who would him be? Who do you think him is?
Othello.
Othello. Okay. Okay, so him is Othello. Okay. And then Iago is down here saying, okay, despise me if I do not. So he's responding. He is responding right here to this right here. So if I do not hate Othello, then despise me. Okay. Do you see how that works? So he's basically saying, I hate him. Okay. He's basically saying, I hate him. All right. So Iago does not like Othello. Okay. He hates him. Okay. I think he also he disrespects him.